All right, so Boise, huh? You're thinking about the pet parent life there, getting ready for all those awesome dog parks and patios.
In all that sunshine.
But we're going deeper than that today.
Much deeper.
We're talking about how Boise itself, the environment, how all that impacts your furry friend's health.
In ways you might not expect.
Exactly. We've got some fascinating research here.
Oh, yeah.
Excerpts from a Boise vet guide,
Great guide.
plus some extra info we dug up.
Should be interesting.
By the end of this deep dive,
Deep dive, I like it.
you'll know not just the what of pet care in Boise, but the why.
The why, that's the important part.
And maybe even some surprising things to watch out for that are unique to Boise.
Boise's got its own quirks, for sure, when it comes to pet health anyway.
Quirks. I like that.
Yeah.
So let's jump right in.
Let's do it.
What struck me right away
Yeah.
is that Boise vets,
What about them?
they're not just about the usual checkups.
No, they're not.
They're really tuned in to the Boise lifestyle,
They have to be.
to the things that make pet care in Boise unique. Like, okay, this is where it gets interesting.
Lay it on me.
The guide talks about Boise's high desert climate,
Right.
that dry air.
Especially in winter.
It can actually lead to specific skin conditions in pets.
Oh, absolutely.
Ones you might not see in other places.
Definitely seen my share of that.
Wow. So it's not just about keeping them warm in the winter,
Nope.
it's about their skin too.
That dry air can really do a number on their skin.
So what can people do about that?
Well, first off, you got to recognize it's a thing.
Right.
Then you talk to your vet.
They'll have recommendations.
Oh, yeah. Special shampoos, maybe some dietary changes, sometimes even medication if it's really bad.
And it's not just the dry air, right?
No way.
We got to talk about those hot Boise summers.
Oh, yeah. Those are brutal.
And all that hiking.
Hiking, biking, running, all that good stuff.
But that means heat stroke,
Heat stroke is a serious risk for sure.
especially for certain breeds.
Definitely brachycephalic breeds, for example, the short-nosed dogs like bugs and bulldogs.
They have a harder time cooling down.
Right, so you got to be extra careful with them in the heat.
And did you know Boise's elevation?
You're going to tell me that plays a role too?
It does. It can actually affect respiratory health in some dogs.
You're absolutely right, especially dogs with underlying conditions.
Wow, I never thought about the elevation like that.
It's something to keep in mind, for sure.
So it's almost like
Almost like what?
Boise's outdoor lifestyle.
Which we all love.
It comes with some built-in challenges for pets.
It definitely does. But hey, that's where preventative care comes in.
Preventative care. Okay, so what does that look like in Boise?
Well, for starters, vaccinations.
Vaccinations are important everywhere
True, but in Boise, some are extra important.
because of the environment.
You got it.
So what are we talking about?
The supplemental info we have here lists rabies, distemper, parvovirus.
Those are core for dogs, right?
Exactly. Core canine vaccines,
And for cats.
rabies, and FVRCP.
Okay, so those are considered core in Boise,
Yes, because those diseases are prevalent here.
like parvo.
Parvo is a big one. Can be devastating, especially for puppies.
So vaccines provide essential protection.
Essential. They really are lifesavers.
Now, the guide also mentions some optional vaccines.
Oh, yeah.
Leptospirosis, bordetella Lyme disease.
Those are more case by case.
So how do you know if your pet needs them?
That's where talking to your Boise vet comes in,
They'll know the local risks.
right? They'll look at your pet's lifestyle.
Like, are they a hiking buddy or a dog park regular or a homebody?
Exactly. And then they tailor a vaccination plan accordingly.
So it's not just about blindly following a checklist.
Nope. It's about making informed decisions with your vet.
Decisions based on your pet's individual needs.
Exactly.
And vaccinations are just one piece of the puzzle.
Oh, there's more.
What else?
Year-round parasite prevention.
That's important in Boise.
Huge. We're talking fleas, ticks, heartworms, intestinal worms.
All thriving in this environment.
You love it here.
Okay, so we're talking about stuff that's in the environment, things we can prevent.
Right.
But what about stuff we might not even see?
Like what?
Those sneaky health issues that can pop up.
I see what you mean.
The guide says Boise vets are really good at early detection.
They are. They're trained to be.
What makes them so good at it?
Well, for one, they're attuned to the subtle signs of health problems, signs that pet owners might easily miss.
Especially in those early stages.
Exactly.
So give me some examples.
Okay, well, dental disease.
Dental disease.
Super common in pets,
Really?
but often overlooked.
Until it's a big problem.
Exactly. And then there's obesity.
Obesity is a big problem for people too.
It is. And for pets, it can lead to a whole host of other problems.
Like what?
Joint problems, heart problems, diabetes.
Wow, so it's not just about them looking a little chubby.
No way. It's a serious health risk.
And then there are those chronic conditions.
Right, like diabetes or kidney disease.
They can really sneak up on you.
They can. So early detection is key.
And Boise vets are trained to spot those subtle signs.
They are. Changes in drinking habits, weight fluctuations, lethargy.
Things that might seem harmless to an untrained eye.
But could indicate a serious underlying issue.
This is about knowing your pet's baseline.
Yes, their normal behavior.
And then being able to notice when something's off.
Even if it's subtle.
And if you do notice something,
You don't hesitate to bring it up with your vet.
they'd rather see your pet for a seemingly minor issue
Absolutely.
than have it develop into something more serious down the line.
Couldn't agree more.
Makes you realize how diverse the pet population is here.
Oh, yeah. You got everything in Boise?
Super active dogs,
Love those.
chill cats,
My favorite.
people with pocket pets,
So cute.
reptiles, birds,
You name it, Boise's got it.
and Boise vets.
What about them?
They're equipped to handle that diversity
They are. They've got experience with different breeds, species, lifestyles.
so they can provide specialized care.
Yep. Or refer you to a specialist if needed.
Speaking of specialized care,
Yeah.
emergencies.
Uh-oh.
People are always out and about with their pets in Boise.
Hiking, biking, going to the park.
Accidents happen.
They do. And you got to be prepared.
So what's the emergency care situation like in Boise?
Well, the good news is many Boise vets offer emergency services.
That's a good thing.
Or they work with 24-hour animal hospitals.
So if something happens while you're out on a trail,
Or even unexpectedly at home.
you can get your pet immediate care.
That's the key. Immediate care.
Mind.
Exactly. Knowing you're prepared if the worst happens.
And that ties into the bigger picture here.
How so?
Building a relationship with a Boise vet.
That's so important.
It's not just about annual checkups.
No, it's not.
It's about having a partner.
A partner in your pet's health.
Someone who understands your pet,
Right.
their lifestyle,
And all those Boise quirks.
and the unique challenges that come with living in Boise.
Exactly.
Having someone you can trust to guide you
Through all the ups and downs of pet ownership.
in this amazing city.
Boise is pretty special.
It is. And finding the right vet,
That's crucial.
it makes all the difference.
So are you and your pet.
Well, on that note,
What's next?
let's dive deeper into what to look for in a Boise vet
Sounds good to me.
in part 2.
Can't wait.
So we've talked about Boise and how it can be tough on pets sometimes.
Right. All those things that make Boise unique.
But every pet is different too, right?
Oh, absolutely. Each
Yeah.
pet has its own personality, its own needs.
So how much did that actually matter when it comes to their health?
It matters a lot. Actually, that's where getting to know your pet, really understanding them, becomes crucial.
So you're saying it's more than just knowing their breed or species.
Exactly. It's about their lifestyle, their habits, their quirks.
And that's where a good Boise vet comes in.
That's exactly right. They're not just treating symptoms, they're treating your pet as an individual.
With all their history and all their little weirdnesses.
All those things that make them special.
Okay, I can see that.
Like, think about it. You've got a super high energy dog who's always hiking.
Up in the foothills.
Right. They're going to have totally different needs.
Than a cat who just lounges around the house all day.
A total couch potato?
Exactly.
That hiking dog might need a special diet
Something to support their joint.
and give them energy for those long hikes.
And they're probably more prone to injuries too, right?
Definitely.
And they're out in the environment more.
Exposed to all those parasites.
Ticks, fleas, you name it.
Meanwhile, the indoor cat
They might be struggling with obesity,
or boredom.
and their diet needs would be completely different
So it's all about tailoring their care to their lifestyle.
to their individual needs.
Now, the guide we're looking at mentions that Boise vets are really good at
At what?
picking up on early signs of health problems.
Oh, yeah. That's one of the things that sets them apart.
But what should we, as pet owners, be watching for?
What are some of those clues that maybe it's time for a vet visit?
Exactly. Like maybe it's not an emergency yet.
Right. But something seems a little off.
So what should we be on the lookout for?
Well, it does vary depending on the pet, but there are some general things to watch out for.
Like what?
Changes in appetite or thirst. Okay, so if they're suddenly eating or drinking a lot more
Or a lot less.
than usual,
That could be a sign something's up.
could be a sign of a lot of things.
Exactly. That's why you got to get it checked out.
What about their weight?
Weight fluctuations are another red flag.
So sudden weight loss or gain.
Either way, it's worth mentioning to your vet.
And how about their energy levels?
Oh, yeah. Pay attention to that, too.
Are they suddenly more lethargic?
Or more restless than usual.
Any big change in their normal behavior?
Exactly. Like they're just not acting like themselves.
And their bathroom habits?
Oh, yeah. Don't forget about those.
Changes in frequency or consistency?
Anything unusual there could be a problem.
And of course, any signs of pain?
Like limping or whimpering or excessive grooming.
All those things.
Definitely get those checked out.
Like we have to be detectives for our pet's health.
That's a great way to put it.
And-
Always be observant.
And if in doubt,
Go to the vet.
better safe than sorry.
Absolutely. Early detection can make a huge difference.
Okay, so let's say you're new to Boise.
Or maybe you just need a new vet.
How do you even start looking?
There are a lot of options out there.
It can be overwhelming.
It can. So I'd say start by thinking about your pet's specific needs.
Like, do they have any pre-existing conditions?
Or do they need specialized care?
So if you have an exotic pet, for example,
You'd want to find a vet who's experienced with those.
or if your dog is like we talked about,
A high-energy hiking buddy.
you might want a vet who understands those risks.
Right. The risks that come with that lifestyle.
Location is probably a factor, too.
Oh, yeah. Boise's a big city.
Pretty spread out.
So you want a vet who's conveniently located,
Especially if your pet hates car rides.
or if you need to get there quickly in an emergency.
And what about word of mouth?
Word of mouth is always helpful.
Talk to other pet owners
See who they recommend.
at the dog park or around your neighborhood.
Exactly. Get those personal recommendations.
And online reviews,
Those can be helpful too.
but take them with a grain of salt.
Right. Look for patterns in the feedback.
Don't just trust one person's opinion.
That's good advice.
So once you've got a short list,
What's the next step?
what do you do then?
Schedule a meet and greet appointment.
A meet and greet.
Yeah, you want to meet the vet in person?
See the clinic.
Ask any questions you have.
It's like a first date.
It really is. You're seeing if there's a good vibe
If you feel comfortable with this person,
and how your pet reacts to them.
oh yeah, you want your pet to feel at ease.
Absolutely. They're the patient, after all.
So you're not just choosing a vet for yourself.
You're choosing one for your pet.
Their comfort and well-being are paramount.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
So we've talked about the Boise risks
And personalized care.
and finding a vet.
What else is there?
What about all those practical considerations
Ah, yes, the nitty-gritty details.
like cost and availability and emergency care?
Those are important for sure.
They can really make or break your experience.
No doubt about it.
So let's dive into those next.
Okay, sounds good to me.
All right, so we've talked about all the Boise-specific stuff.
Right, the risks, the challenges.
How important it is to find a vet.
Who really gets your pet?
Who gets Boise?
Exactly.
But now